Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome. There's room for one. There's room for all. Come on in. Welcome. Greetings, Keona Carter. Greetings, beloved. Greetings, neophyte poet. Greetings, greetings. Greetings, beloved. Rob, Stone. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome. Welcome. I won't be with you long, so come on in. Come on in. Welcome. Greetings, greetings, and salutations. Come on in to another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes, broadcasting live from the House of the Divine Prince, Thai Potions, and Hoodoo Central LLC. Come on in. Welcome. Greetings, greetings. Phone lines 845-277-9143. Phone lines are 845-277-9143. Come on in, come on in. I only have a moment with you, so come on in. Oh, waiting for you once again. I'm longing for my family, coming back to you. Out of bondage and now I am free. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da da. Da da da. Come on in, welcome, greetings, greetings. Come on in, come on in. I only have a moment with you today, so come on in. Greetings, greetings, and salutations. Come on in. Thank you, Keona D. Carter, beloved. Greetings, greetings. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. There's a chair for one, there's a chair for all. Come on in. We've increased the temple space. There's room for many, there's room for plenty. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Greetings, Tamara Bragg. Come on in. Last days of summer 8000. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Greetings and salutations. Yes, come on in. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome, Periscope. Welcome, Instagram. Welcome, Twitter. All is a blessing, Facebook. Greetings and salutations, StreamYard. Welcome and come on in. All is a blessing. Oh, baby, if you didn't get it in under 3 minutes, then you didn't have any business being here. Only the erudite, only the spiritual, only the real, only the authentic. Come on in. Come on in. Greetings, greetings. Come on in. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Seven the gentlemen, greetings, beloved. Welcome, welcome. Greetings and divine, all blessed, peace and love, joy and prosperity. You are now sitting live with the Divine Prince and always in archive at your leisure and convenience at the House of the Divine Prince, Thai Potions, Hoodoo Central LLC, in this beautiful, historic, legendary, and most haunted city in America, New Orleans, Louisiana. Most chanted city in America, New Orleans, Louisiana. The land of my ancestors and those who came before me along this Hoodoo Obeah life path and journey, passing down the great Obeah stick along with the knowledge of the life-giving, healing herbs, plants, roots, spirits, rituals, minerals. Indeed, I am in a rush, and I don't want to rush through my show today, but I only have a little bit of time to be with you today. I only have a moment. I am backed up with appointments and some really important things that I need to do today. And so I want to just kind of get in there with it, if you know what I mean. A long introduction, not a long greeting, not a whole lot of affirmation, but just really get in there and get to it as the spirit of the day would call for, as the ancestors would call for. And in all things, I always begin and have my being on the foundation, on the platform of ancestors. For indeed, without them, we would not be present. Without them, we would not be here. Without them, we would not have our very body and our very being in this divine moment in time space. Without the great shoulders of ancestors on which we now stand. And I've been asking the question over and over again, and I ask it just a little bit differently each time we come together. I ask it in a new way. I try to say it in a way for those in the back who didn't hear me. I try to say it in a way for those who need a little extra push, a little extra help, can take it in. What are you doing right now in this divine moment in time space to acknowledge your ancestors, to honor your ancestors, to show due respect for the blood, sweat, and tears upon which our foundation is now built? What would Robert Abbott have to say about your demonstration in this present moment in time space? Because he gave voice to the voiceless. What would Alvin Ailey say about your demonstration right now in this most present moment in time space? Because he brought dance and the beauty of Black bodies to the fight for justice. What would Muhammad Ali say about your demonstration right now in this most present moment in time space? Because he said he was the greatest, and he was. And he was. So indeed, your demonstration for my new listeners, that what you say you know, that what you say you believe, that what you say you're standing on, that which is most real and most evident about your inner standing shows up in your demonstration. You can't mask demonstration. You can't hide demonstration. You can't fake demonstration. You can't put on demonstration, because the mask always has to be removed. The covers always have to come off. And we are now living and existing in a time, in a space, in a season where the masks are coming off, where the costumes are coming off. This is not a time to be reactionary. Our revolutionaries were not reactionary. This is not a time to be emotional. Our activists are not emotional. This is a time to indeed have a well thought out, well orchestrated, well meditated upon plan of action, plan of course. And this revolution mirrors the revolution that I've been teaching and preaching and bringing forward to you for over a dozen years now. This ain't new to my listeners. This ain't new for my audience. We've been planning and preparing. We've been planning and preparing for a moment just like this, a moment to stand up in your demonstration. This ain't about favor and favoritism. This ain't about popularity. What is your footprint? What is your demonstration? Let's be clear. I'm not an internet reader. I'm not an internet psychic. I'm not an internet spiritualist. I'm not an internet voodoo priest. I use the opportunity of Hurricane Katrina and the internet to bring what I was already doing in my life to the world in a universal space. I'm not created in this space. I'm not made or broken in this space. I cannot be harmed in this space, because those who support, those who are in the business of building, those who are in the business of unifying, those who are in the business of doing grassroots work at the grassroots level, at the community level, at the point of hand contact exchange, that's whose shoulders I'm standing on. Those are the shoulders who I'm braced up against. What would your demonstration right now, what would Maya Angelou say about your demonstration? Because she rose to greatness despite being faced with cruel life hardships. What would Ella Baker say about your demonstration? Because she didn't let her gender keep her from defending her race. What would James Baldwin say right now, today, about your demonstration? Because he embraced the responsibility to be a voice to his nation. To his nation. What does your voice say about your truth today? How are you best utilizing your voice right now for change, for healing, for motivation, for cleansing, for empowerment? How are you using your voice today? And not just that voice that ends up on your Facebook, not just that voice that ends up in your social media, but that inner voice that creates and recreates your reality each and every day. What would the ancestors say about your demonstration in this most present moment in time space? I'm hearing people invoking the 60s and the 70s and the 50s and beyond. What would the ancestors have to say about your use of power right now in this most present moment in time space? It's time to cut beyond the foolishness. I know y'all want me to read and cut up and entertain. I've never been here for that. I've never been here for that. I've never been here for that. What would John Michael Basque say about your demonstration right now, here today? Because without Basket, there would be no graffiti. Without him, there would be no Bansky. Without him, there would be no Black footprint in modern art and modern pop culture. What would the ancestors say about your demonstration right now, right here, right today? What would Mary McLeod Bethune have to say about your demonstration? Because the First Lady of the struggle left us an indelible legacy of love and hope and dignity. And dignity. My dignity is not rooted in what goes on in social media. It's not rooted in the foolishness that many of you are occupying your time with in the middle of this calamity, in the middle of this war. There are people in desperate need, desperate states, desperate spaces right now. Right now, the domestic violence rate is rising and rising through the roof. Violence is rising and rising through the roof. Despair and depression is rising. And we worried about what's going on social media. Oh my goodness. Tell me it ain't so. Tell me it ain't true. Listen, beloveds, I greet each and every one of you individually and collectively. I won't have long with you today because I am booked up. I have some important meetings. Greetings, beloved. Greetings and salutations. Welcome. And so I won't be here long. So let's get in here and get it. If you have questions, comments, and requests, please do follow the eloquent instructions that Keona D. Carter, our beloved moderator, has presented in the chat. And you can too be a part of the conversation. There's a lot going on in the world, from one calamity to the next, from one rumor of war to the next, from one illusion of a problem, of a challenge, of a complication to the next. Who has time for foolishness? What would Angela Davis say? Absolutely. What would she say? What would she say about your demonstration, man of color? About your demonstration, woman of color? About your demonstration, humanity, in this most present moment in time space? What would your ancestors have to say? And what does your demonstration say about you? My demonstration is unwavering. Through any kind of season, through any kind of weather, through any kind of challenge, my demonstration is unwavering. Unwavering. And it is indeed now that our demonstration counts the most. It is indeed now that what we do and what we say and how we live counts the most? What does your representation of hoodoo, root work, conjure say about your level of respect for the ancestors? What is your demonstration in ATR and your usage of ATR and your borrowing from ATR say about your level of respect and honor to the ancestors who laid this path, who laid this foundation, who created this way for us to be able to stand today with the technology that's at our availability, with the space that's at our availability, with the intellectual property that's at our availability. Y'all, I'm trying not to go there, and I really don't have a whole lot of time to, because I have so much on my plate. I have a 1 o'clock, so I don't have a lot of time to be with you today. I invite you to get on my phone lines at area code 845-277-9143, 845-277-9143. When you're ready with your question, comment, or request, please do press the number 1 on your telephone keypad. I'll be more than happy to unmute your mic and bring you into the conversation. We acknowledge Orisha Obatala, Ipa Osa Obatala. We acknowledge Oshanla, who governs ahead and created the body and gave us this clay vessel upon which we operate this divinity, this God and goddess nature each and every day in our walk here on Mother, Father Earth. What would a Shirley Chisholm say about your demonstration today? Because before Yes We Can, there was unbought and unbossed. Shirley Chisholm, what would she have to say? And what would Benjamin O. Davis Sr. have to say? Because he led the fight against enemies, both foreign and domestic. How much are you really willing to sacrifice for the ancestors? How much are you really willing to give for the freedom and the liberation that we fight for, that we've marched for, that we struggled for, generation after generation? I can't be distracted by illusions, a puff and smoke and mirrors. I can't be distracted by nonsense. I can't be distracted when there are such bigger issues on our doorstep. No, I won't help you eliminate a child. Don't even ask. Don't even ask me that again. Don't even email me that again. Bruh, don't send me that again. Yeah. What would Frederick Douglass and Nat Turner have to say about your demonstration today and right now? Frederick Douglass, because his voice rose from the horror of slavery to challenge the denial of Black humanity. Dr. Charles Drew, because he was a true blood pioneer who has saved and is still saving millions of lives. What would W.E.B. Du Bois have to say about your demonstration today? Because he observed the multifaceted nature of Black America and documented it. We have got to be better stewards of what we have, of what belongs to us, of what's innate in us, of what's inherent in us. And we cannot indeed be the continuation of the bastardization and appropriation of our history, of our truths, of our ancestors, of our culture, of our traditions. We can no longer say, stop the violence, stop the racism, stop the white supremacy, while still nurturing those diseases within ourselves, while still nurturing those infirmities within ourselves. What would Aretha Franklin say today about your demonstration? Because she was the soundtrack of the civil rights movement. She indeed was the voice of our community. What would Jimi Hendrix have to say about our demonstration, because no one can match his genius, and particularly his genius in a time when he stood out as an oddity, when he stood out as being separate, when he stood out as being different. I am overwhelmed by the move of ancestors right now, not just in my life, not just in this house, but in the city of New Orleans, in the Deep South, in the world right now, as we acknowledge the humanity that has been so denied for so long, for so many years, and for so many centuries, has this humanity been denied. And no one can be more humbled by what's taking place right now in the streets, in the media, in our communities, as much as we can with our great social distancing. Nobody can be more humbled right now by the change, by the movement of the ancestors than myself. When most people are reducing and shrinking right now, we're growing and expanding. When many are rethinking right now, we are pushing forward ahead that which we've been thinking and praying on and meditating and feeding for many years, to be present at a crossroads just like this, such as this. And I'm eternally grateful for those who are doing the work, those who are stepping in and rolling up their sleeves and are doing the ancestral work, are getting their DNA lineage read and done, and are creating powerful shrine spaces and shrine work. I don't have time to do a reading on air, beloved. I can't do a reading on air. You're going to have to send that to me by email, and I'll have to schedule an appointment with you later in the day. I have an appointment really not too very long moving forward. So I'm not going to be able to do a reading, not live on air today. But you can try again tomorrow, or you can follow Kim D. Carter's instructions in the chat and reach me off air. Yeah. Thank you kindly. But this is a time to really be true about what we say and we believe. This has never been about carnal magic. This has never been about fulfillment of our material and our personal and our carnal ideas and goals. This has always been about revolution. This has always been about change. This has always been about a more transformative, lasting change, and not something that's just temporary, not something that's just an illusion of satisfaction for the moment, but something that should be enduring. What would the ancestors of the Wakweman, Wakaman say about your demonstration right now? What would the ancestors of the Wakaman say about our demonstration right now? What would indeed the ancestors of the Wakaman say about the demonstration of ATR, not just in Haiti, but in all of the African world, in all of the Pan-African diaspora, in all of the trans-African diaspora? What would the ancestors of the Wakaman say about our demonstration right now, in this present moment in time space? Not just what we can see, not just what we can document, not just the footprint that's readable and discernible, but that which can't always be seen, that which is not always observed. It is said integrity is not just what you do when you're being watched or when you're on camera, but more importantly, integrity is about what you do when you're not on camera and when you're being watched. And so we live in a society right now of unrest because people can't trust those who are not being watched. People can't trust those who are not well documented and well vetted. And even with all the documentation and vetting, we still see Black lives don't matter. My life doesn't matter. The trans life doesn't matter. The Black woman's life doesn't matter. We still keep seeing the demonstration that these lives don't matter. So until we can see and live and walk in the fulfillment of the demonstration that Black Lives Matter, we'll continue to say Black Lives Matter. Until we can see and walk in the demonstration of Trans Lives Matter, we'll continue to say Trans Lives Matter. Until we see and can live and walk in a demonstration that the lives of Black women matter, we'll continue to say the lives of Black women indeed do matter. And hence revolution. And hence activism. That is indeed what this is about. And a revolutionary, an activist is not at 100, is not at their best if their head ain't right, if your hands ain't right, if your body ain't right, if the frame that's holding up the vessel, if the frame that's holding up the structure of the temple house of the Most High and the ancestors ain't right, then indeed you're not a well revolutionary. You're not a well activist. And we continue to leave a debt to generations that follow us to have to repeat and refight. Greetings, Abaru Abuye Aboshishe, love it. Greetings, welcome, welcome. I welcome each and every one of you. Listen, I won't be with you long. I have an appointment in short time. So please do type in your questions, comments, or requests. Let me check my phone lines at area code 845-277-9143. Area code 845-277-9143. Greetings, beloved Kiona. Welcome.
Hi, greetings.
Alafia, welcome to the show.
The phone line was a little bit choppy, so I apologize for that delay. I couldn't hear you. Yes, thank you. So I have a question. Give you the backstory of it. So this is a spiritualist that I've been communicating with in Nigeria for two years, almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we communicate through WhatsApp and we build a rapport. Nice guy, not too far from my age. He even nicknamed his newest last born son after me, just good. But what I'm trying to make is yesterday I had a consultation over the phone, and afterwards he called me and he says, you're my sister, I'm your brother, and I love you, but you gave that person on that call way too much information, and you shouldn't have done that. And it creeped me out. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of work could a person do to where they don't know that you had a conversation with someone. They don't know that you didn't tell them anything about that, but yet they knew in great detail what you talked about. And that creeped me out. It really did.
Okay, you told a story, so you lost me. I'm completely lost now. Because at first I thought you were saying
choppy. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you lost me. I heard you, but you lost me in the telling of that story. I'm not even sure who.
I was giving the story to tell you where the person came from, to understand that I had built a rapport with them, so they wasn't a complete stranger. So that's when I started out to say that I was acquainted with this person.
Okay, you're talking about the person you did the reading with.
No. I'm saying the person that I've been acquainted with, but I'm saying yesterday there was no. I'm saying this is two separate occasions. Like I was talking to someone in America about something, and when I hung up with the person in America, my WhatsApp started to ring, and I answered it with him, and he said, "You know that you're my sister and I'm your brother, and on that phone call that you just hung up with, you just gave them more information than what they should," and that freaked me out because he never even knew that I was on the phone with anybody. So I feel like there's some work being done. So that's why I'm giving you all of this information to confirm what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, but see that's I think why I'm confused, because you just triggered one of my number one pet peeves. You're asking me to validate that this person that you really ain't gave me no kind of real detail about at all is somehow some practitioner or gifted. My intuition says he tracking your phone. My intuition said he got something in your device. Nothing about what you said read to me somebody with some kind of gift or skill. That's what threw me. That's the part of what you said that threw me. So I'm still trying to identify, who are we talking about? Are we talking about a reader who told you that? Are we talking about a practitioner who told you that? Who are we talking about?
Well, he is a practitioner in Africa. That's what I'm saying. He is a practitioner.
And he's the one.
I don't go to him.
And the practitioner in Africa was able to tell you details of a conversation that you had with who?
With somebody that's that's in America. I'm telling you, he never even knew that I was speaking with this person. I'm saying it was creepy. Anyway, I don't want to interrupt the show. It's just on my mind, and that sounds live. I just wanted to, ask you about it.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody that you've given your name or your number, not your name, your email or your phone number through WhatsApp, and they've got some kind of thing on your device. I would be sure that that's not the case. I would be sure that's not the case. Particularly now that you're saying that this is somebody in West Africa who's reading your phone conversations in America. That's not real. No practitioner can do that. That's not real. Understand? That's not real. So I would sweep my device for viruses before I would believe that that's real.
Yeah.
I really would. Thank you, Danette Gibbs. Yes, just send me an email. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. I'm really nervous about.
Yeah, I'm not.
Go ahead. Go ahead, beloved. Hello?
I'm not seeking readings from anyone. So Taylor said seek readings from you. No, this person's not giving me readings. They're not giving me readings.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't even say anything close to that. I said if this person from Africa is telling you that they can identify the details of your...
Kayla.
Oh, okay. Because you're talking to the phone. Y'all can look. Come on now. I'm not even seeing Kayla. Because I'm too busy talking to you.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm talking about him reading to you. That ain't real. Listen, if that's real, why wouldn't righteous people like ministers and healers and spiritualists be able to do that? And what would be the purpose of that? What would be the purpose of God or the ancestors allowing you access to somebody's private conversations? What would be the purpose of that? A true empath, a true telepath, a true psychic would be in a nut house if that was the case, because you wouldn't be able to turn off all that communication. There would be no control of all of that wiring. That's all I'm saying, Kiana. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Kayla, I misunderstood. Forgive me. Yeah, Neophyte Bokura, I wouldn't trust the technology. I wouldn't trust the technology. And I don't use a lot of that technology. I don't use WhatsApp very regularly, very rarely. And usually when I do use a WhatsApp, it's in conversation with a Nigerian. It's in conversation with somebody in West Africa. But I also have some of the best security that you can purchase. So I would check and make sure that it's not some kind of technological shenanigans going on there. They're desperate right now. West Africa, just imagine those in America who are going through a struggle right now, economically, employment-wise, in this season of Corona. So just imagine West Africa. Just imagine India. People are active all over the world right now in social media. Some just out of boredom. Some people right now are just bored and just don't have enough to do. So it's a lot of shenanigans It's the best way I can describe it, that is happening with stuff like that. So I would double check that. I would double check that. Greetings, beloved. Welcome. Welcome. I'm glad to see so many people here with me today. But on a day when I'm not going to be with you very long, I'm probably going to be here maybe another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to have to move forward. I do have several appointments today, important appointments, and I also have to film a video today, which is going to be kind of odd. I can't even go into detail about it, but I have to film a video today, and it's going to be weird. It's going to require me to invoke emotion, a lot of emotion, as a professional actor would want to do. And I'm going to need time to also be able to do that and get that together, so that tape turns out clean for the purposes for which it will be utilized for. But I'm grateful for another Ose Obatala, another day that we acknowledge the ancestors, the Egungun, another day that we acknowledge Iyami, another day to acknowledge Sakpata, Babalu Oye Omolu, and of course the antidote, and to give demonstration to that we say that we believe, that we say that we stand on. Listen, there's nothing wrong with the Orisha romance. If you're going to be true about it, if you're going to be real about it, if you love Oshun, but make sure you know everything about Oshun. Make sure you understand how Oshun works. Make sure you understand how Oshun is made. If you love Legba, love Legba. If you love Eshu, love Eshu. But make sure that your demonstration reflects that love. Make sure that your demonstration reflects that respect. Make sure your demonstration reflects that level of honor and gratitude to not just the culture and the tradition, but the ancestors who create and shaped and molded the culture and the tradition that many of us today are borrowing from, picking from, pinching from, appropriating from, bastardizing from, and in some cases just outright stealing from. We must acknowledge the ancestors through our deeds, through our work, through our behavior, through our demonstration. And our demonstration reflects that which we say we believe. Because we can say we believe God, we could say we believe ancestors, we could say we believe Shango, we could say we believe a Oya, but if it ain't showing up in your demonstration, then it's all a lie. It's all a lie, and it's all a perpetration. So there's nothing wrong with wanting understanding. There's nothing wrong with exploring the cultural diversity and truths that exist in the world. But let us show due respect. Let us show due honor to the ancestors that create many of these systems from which we are pulling from today. I'm considering giving up doing tarot altogether. Did he say that out? Yeah, I'm considering giving up tarot altogether. Y'all can have tarot. Y'all can have tarot. Y'all can have runes. You can have Eurocentric astrology. You can have Western astrology. The gods and goddesses of my ancestors are good enough. The gods and goddesses of my ancestors are fine unto themselves. The systems of divination of my ancestors are fine unto themselves. So I'm really considering giving up tarot reading, and a great deal of my 800 number psychic line participation altogether. And I keep getting the invites. There's a new psychic service signing up, setting up each and every day. There's a new psychic world, a new king, a new live person, a new California psychic. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have at it. I'm moving forward in the ministry of Voodoo. I'm moving forward in the ministry of ATR which requires us coming together, which requires us gathering as we continue to move forward into a new way of living and being. It requires us having ceremony. It requires us having ritual. It requires us gathering together in a shared sacred space. I'm moving away from commercialized spiritualism. I'm moving away from, the quick fix and the temporary, selfish, carnal, response. I'm moving away from that. And there are enough people out there to fulfill that gap. There are enough people out there to have at it. I can't stop people from making the wrong choice. I can't stop people from doing what they want to do. I can't stop people from focusing where they want to focus their energy. But we can be present when you're ready. We can be present when you fall back. We can be present when they hurt you, break you, harm you again. We'll be here to fix it. We'll be here to repair it. We're here to change it, and to transform it. But that's no longer my battle. It's no longer my push. So I'm moving away from the commercialized attitude and environment of spirituality and religion, and much of what we see going on in social media. People who matter to me, you don't see them in those spaces, and you don't particularly see them in those spaces in that way. You see Iyanla Van Zandt, but you don't see her in those spaces in that way. So I'm seeking to grow, and my clientele is seeking to grow. My godchildren are seeking to grow. My house is seeking to grow. And so I'm seriously giving up tarot reading, commercialized reading. Again, I've sent out a call for readers. I've sent out a call for practitioners, universal practitioners who are well trained, well vetted. But as for me and my house, we're moving away from that. You're going to see that image, that footprint, less and less from me as I move forward. Listen, I'm grateful for each and every one of you. If I didn't address your question or your comment, please forgive me. I just don't have a lot of time. I got 15 minutes now to get ready for a 1 o'clock appointment, a very important 1 o'clock appointment. And I'm just grateful to be booked, grateful to be doing the work. And I look forward to uniting with you, connecting with you in divine, all blessed power and love and respect again here on tomorrow at high noon, U.S. Central Standard Time, remembering that all is truly and indeed a blessing if you can just see beyond the veils, for it is all just an illusion and a test, one of the greatest divine mysteries of this life cycle. Asheo. Yeah, I'm giving away my tarot cards. Not even gonna worry with that. There's enough. Africa is enough. I am enough. My ancestors are enough. Born free at that old cemetery. Down on Claiborne Way, she's buried. Build a fire on a bayou. When a black cat scratched at 2 under a full moon that's blue. Chant the magic words to follow. A dash of cayenne to the moon. God put on my grease. Black top hat, black suit.
let me move this through. I'm gonna get them balls out the graveyard for you. Can't see my eyes like the shades do. A dash of cayenne to the roof. So I put on my green grease. Yeah. Black top hat, black suit too. Same old ride that moves this